I'm just making a quick video, probably like 4 minutes. Now I'm not going to go way too into detail on the specs, but I'm just going to give you a few ideas of how the phone works and how well it works for me at least. Now I'm doing a review on the LG G5, which is currently the newest smartphone available. I'm assuming they'll release a new one in March, probably the G6 as they will probably call it. Now, the biggest difference with this phone compared to the LG G4 that I can think of is it now has Touch ID. So that is right there. Now it actually has a power button as well, so that's the power button combined with the Touch ID. So basically, you do not have to press it for it to work, but if all you have to do is touch it, and it reads it. So it's pretty fast, and I'm just letting you guys know that right offhand. Now I'm gonna also get something else out of the way. The screen has a noticeable blue tint, especially noticeable on a white screen, and it is due to LG making the white point of the screen very bad. The typical standard good expected white point is 6,504K, and this one right here has about 8,329, which is like 1,800 off, pretty bad. The iPhone has like I'm sure you've heard of the iPhone, but it has like a 7,023K, so it's only 500 off, whereas this one is kind of close to 3 times that. So I mean it's definitely noticeable. It's not horrible, but like I said, noticeable. But then again, I do come from an iPhone and a Motorola Xperia, so I'm used to the typical standard, like, kind of white. Now, it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but it looks, basically, it's just like a bluish tint. It's like that everywhere you go on the phone, especially noticeable on a white screen, like, for example, Google. Now, it does not change with brightness. It does not change with auto brightness. It's consistent. There's no setting I found to change it. It's how LG designs all their phones for whatever the reasons, including the LG V10 and V20. Now that's something I wanted to let you guys know, as I've never seen that in any other YouTube video that I can remember of. No one mentions anything about the blue tinted screen. I'm not sure if the reviewers don't care, if it doesn't bother them personally, if they don't notice it, I'm not sure. But I'm really sensitive to that stuff. Kind of like AMOLED screens. They have an issue where if you tilt it, it'll tint blue. The LCD screens do not have that issue, but the AMOLED do. I'm not quite sure what causes it, but that's just to let you guys know. Now also, it has a Snapdragon 820 processor with 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage, which is really good. That's one of the newest processors available. Now, on the 32 GB internal memory, or storage, cannot be upgraded nor downgraded. The 32 is the only one available. However, it does have an SD card slot, so that is a plus, whereas not all Android phones have that option. And another thing with this phone is that it has a 5.3-inch screen, which is pretty good. It's 0.2 inches bigger than the Samsung Galaxy S7, but it's still 0.2 smaller than the 5.5-inch Galaxy S7 Edge. So it's basically in between, if you think of it that way. Now, it has the typical Quad HD display of 2560 by 1440 pixels, and its pixels per inch number is 554. Now the Galaxy S7 is 574. I honestly can't remember the S7 Edge, but I'm assuming it's somewhere like 534 or something like that. Now, another thing, and the biggest thing with this phone, compared to like the Galaxies, is that it has a removable battery slot. So if you look right down here, you can kind of see where my ring finger is. Sorry, it's kind of blurry in the video, but if you press that, and then you pull this bottom part with the silver on it, LG, you can pull it straight out. The battery comes along with it. Now, I would try doing it, but unfortunately my case would not come off, and I'm not sure why. And just in case I return this phone, I do not want to scratch it up too much. But all you would do is pull it straight out. You can basically just put on a new battery, attach it onto the silver part right here, and slide it right back into the phone, and you're all charged at 100%. Now they have what they call a battery cradle for the battery, at LG.com. They have it for like $39, but on Amazon it's like $26. But it comes with a cradle, as they call it. It looks more like a coffin to me. But you put the battery into it, and then it can become a power bank by using the battery to power the little coffin, and you can plug anything you want into the coffin itself. Or you can plug the coffin into a wall outlet and charge the battery inside of it. So you can use that as like an external charger to keep it charged while your phone is being used. So in other words, and that's another thing that brings me to, is the screen on time is typically 5 hours for me on Wi-Fi, sometimes 5.5. So if you think about it, it probably takes around 3 hours to charge the battery with the cradle. So theoretically, if I don't forget to charge the battery, I would never have to plug my phone into the wall. So basically I can use it constantly without worrying about plugging it in. So if I have 2 extra batteries as backup, that's even better. So even Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, I think battery life of like 7 to 8 hours, it still can't beat the exchangeable batteries. Now some people obviously prefer the Samsung Edge, but I'm just saying that the battery life is, like, with combined of being able to swap out batteries, this phone is definitely the way to go. And LG is the only flagship phone that I know of that still offers the exchangeable batteries. So for me, that was one of the major pluses of getting this phone. I didn't even think about the Touch ID on it when I purchased it, because I just thought the battery life was awesome. And like obviously the swappable battery, which is 2800 milliamps, by the way. Now another thing is the camera on the front facing. It has 2 cameras actually, so you can do a wider angle, but it is 16 megapixels. The facing camera here is 8 megapixels, so it's not nearly as good as the front facing one obviously, but as are none of the phones out there. Now the iPhone definitely does not have nearly as good of a camera as the LG G5. Now I used to have a 5S, and like when I was talking about the white point before, it's not noticeable on the 5S, since it, like I said, is much closer to the ideal white point, which is like the color and how white it can be. LG, all of their phones do not have a very good white point, so it's like they're always slightly tinted blue, and to me it drives me crazy. I don't know about you guys, but I would go to like a Verizon store or T-Mobile store and try it out first. The reason I say that is because when I went out to T-Mobile and tried the V10 and V20, I was like, oh my gosh, the screen is so tinted blue, it drove me crazy. On the G5 it's not as bad, probably because it's slightly smaller than the 5.7 inches. But I would honestly say the G5 is one of the best smartphones out there. If you can look past the tinted blue screen, or if it doesn't bother you, which hopefully it doesn't, because that'd be awesome if it didn't bother me, then this smartphone is probably the way to go if you don't want the edge from Samsung's phone. But I mean, like I said, Snapdragon 820, 4 gigabytes RAM, pretty freaking good, pretty fast, really snappy, doesn't lag, that I know of at least. I'm going to do a speed test for you, and this is just an internet speed test. So 12 milliseconds for ping is really good. As you can see, it is going really up high with the megabits per second. I think hours is 50. So it's 47.29. The upload speed is hanging around 6. It's 6.21, so that's not too bad, to be honest. Especially the download speed. You can download apps really fast with that, like 6 megabytes a second download speed. So I mean, then again, now our internet's slower, so I don't know the exact capability of this phone. I don't remember how many megabits per second on Wi-Fi, but it's pretty good, pretty snappy, as you can see. Really responsive. Let me see. So I mean, it loaded the Clash of Clans game pretty fast. One more thing I'm going to do for all of you guys, just to kind of give you an idea of how fast it'll download an app, just so you can actually see it for yourself. I'm going to select Pokemon Go. I'm going to uninstall it since I forgot to do that. Okay, so I'm going to start installing it. And you can see how fast it climbs up for the 82.42 megabyte app. Well, at least that's what they say in Google Play, but usually it's inaccurate, but still, the idea is you can see how fast it's shooting up. Ideally, it's somehow shooting up faster than 6 megabytes a second. I'm not exactly sure why. Probably because it's not accurate with the storage anyways, but Still, as you can see, it is very fast. I still remember my iPad too, and it would take much longer than that to download an app. More like a minute or something like that, which is still fast. But now you take 15-20 seconds. 3 times that speed. But I mean, as you can see, it works really well. Pretty fast download speed. Really responsive, but like I said, I highly recommend going to your nearby phone store like Verizon or T-Mobile and trying it for yourself, as like I did not notice the blue tint on the screen, even in the videos. In person I noticed it. I would honestly go and give it a try. I would honestly highly recommend not purchasing a smartphone until you've actually given it a try, or at least have a return policy where you can return it if you don't want it, not just because if it's defective. Because chances are you will get this, and if you're really into smartphones, you will notice the blue tint, and it will drive you crazy. But if you can look past that, it's a really good smartphone, like I said, one of the best out there. It is, I mean, I can't wait for the G6 to come out. Hopefully they do not remove the removable battery feature, because that would really suck, as that's one of LG's selling points. But, I mean, anyways, hope to see you guys around. Feel free to leave a thumbs up. I know the video kind of isn't the best quality, or anything like that. It didn't show a whole lot. It's more talking, with just kind of giving you guys a heads up and everything, just because I did not know about the blue tint. I don't want anyone else to get screwed over like me, so, yep, goodbye.